The quantum sensors aboard the Lunar Observatory picked up the signal at exactly 0300 Earth Standard Time. Commander Elena Rodriguez stood before the holographic display, her dark eyes fixed on the strange patterns that danced across the screen. After 20 years of searching the stars for signs of intelligent life, humanity had finally received its answer. But it wasn't the greeting they had hoped for. "Play it again," she ordered, and the message filled the command center once more. The alien transmission was clear and precise, delivered in perfect English, a fact that sent chills down Elena's spine. They had been watching, studying, and waiting. "To the species designated as humans, your rapid technological advancement has been noted. Submit to the authority of the Kronoth Empire or face immediate extinction. You have 72 hours to surrender your world. Resistance is futile against those who have ruled the stars for 1,000,000 years." Director Marcus Webb of the Earth Defense Initiative entered the room, his normally composed demeanor showing signs of strain. "The Security Council is assembling in Geneva. They're expecting your assessment, Commander." Elena straightened her uniform, a habit from her years in the Global Space Force. "They've been monitoring us, Director. The transmission's linguistic accuracy suggests they've had observation posts in our system for years, possibly decades." "And our contingency?" Marcus asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Project Prometheus is ready," Elena replied, allowing herself a slight smile. "The Kronoth Empire might be ancient, but they've made one critical mistake: they think they know everything about us." Beneath the surface of Mars, in chambers carved deep into the red planet's rock, humanity's answer to cosmic threats waited. The Earth Defense Initiative had spent the last 15 years preparing for this moment, building technologies that went beyond conventional physics. While the world's population believed their greatest achievements were the lunar bases and Mars colonies, the real advances had happened in secret. Elena pulled up another holographic display, showing 12 ships unlike anything ever seen in human history. They were the culmination of reverse-engineered technology from a crashed alien vessel found in Antarctica decades ago, combined with humanity's relentless drive to innovate. Each vessel incorporated quantum-locked armor, gravity manipulation drives, and weapons that could tear holes in the fabric of space itself. "The Kronoth expect us to be primitive," Elena continued, addressing the command staff who had gathered in the center. "Their message reveals their greatest weakness: arrogance. They believe age equals superiority. They've ruled so long they've stopped evolving." The room's displays suddenly lit up with new alerts. Multiple objects had appeared at the edge of the solar system, emerging from what appeared to be artificial wormholes. The Kronoth weren't waiting for their deadline, they were moving to intimidate Earth into submission. Elena activated the facility's quantum-encrypted communication system. "This is Commander Rodriguez to all Prometheus vessels. Operation Defiance is now active. Launch protocols are authorized." Across Mars, hidden hangar doors began to open. The 12 ships of humanity's secret fleet powered up their cores, their experimental drives humming with energy that defied conventional physics. Aboard the flagship, newly promoted Captain Kira Chen ran her final systems check. Her crew was young, but they had trained for years in virtual simulations, preparing for this moment. "They're expecting sheep," Elena transmitted to the fleet. "Show them wolves instead." The Kronoth vessels were massive, each one larger than Earth's largest space station. They moved with the confidence of predators who had never known defeat, their ancient hulls bearing the marks of countless victories. But they had never faced humanity before. They had never encountered a species that had nearly destroyed itself multiple times, learning and growing stronger from each near-extinction event. As the alien ships approached Mars, preparing to demonstrate their power, Elena gave the order that would change the course of human history. "All ships, execute Operation First Light. Show these ancient ones why humanity's worth fighting." The 12 ships of Project Prometheus emerged from their hiding places, their quantum drives allowing them to appear simultaneously at strategic points around the Kronoth fleet. Humanity's first interstellar war was about to begin, and the galaxy's oldest empire was about to learn that age and power weren't everything. Sometimes, the younger species had the sharpest teeth. Captain Kira Chen stood at the helm of the EDS Hyperion, watching as the massive Chronouth warships approached. Through the quantum glass viewport, their vessels looked like ancient leviathans, their hull designs unchanged for millennia. The aliens' arrogance was evident in their formation, they weren't even attempting to maintain defensive positions. "All systems are combat ready, Captain," reported Lieutenant Raj Patel from his tactical station. The young officer's fingers danced across the holographic controls, bringing the Hyperion's revolutionary weapons online. Quantum cascade generators at full power. Phase shields are stable. Kira nodded, her expression determined. The Hyperion might be a third the size of the smallest Chronouth vessel, but size wasn't everything. The ship represented humanity's greatest technological achievement, a perfect fusion of reverse-engineered alien tech and human innovation. "Status report from all sections," she ordered, her voice steady despite the tension building in her chest. "Engineering reports quantum core stable at 98%, called out Chief Engineer Hannah O'Sullivan. Gravitic pulse drives ready for combat maneuvers. Phase shift capacitors charged." The Chronouth fleet had entered the inner solar system, their massive engines leaving trails of exotic particles that Earth sensors had never detected before. Their communication channels remained open, broadcasting the same message on repeat: submit or be destroyed. "Your primitive weapons cannot harm us." Commander Rodriguez's voice came through the quantum-encrypted channel. "All ships, execute Battle Plan Omega. Show them what primitive looks like." The Hyperion's bridge crew exchanged knowing glances. They had trained for this moment in thousands of simulations, but this was real. Humanity's future hung in the balance. "Tactical, target their lead vessel's propulsion system," Kira commanded. "Let's show them our first surprise. Execute quantum shift maneuver." The Hyperion seemed to blink out of existence, its quantum drive allowing it to briefly phase through spacetime itself. The massive Chronouth flagship didn't even have time to register the attack before the human vessel reappeared beneath its ventral hull. "Fire quantum cascade beam," Kira ordered. The Hyperion's main weapon activated, releasing a concentrated burst of quantum energy that didn't so much damage the alien ship as it rewrote the laws of physics around it. The Chronouth vessel's shields, designed to stop conventional energy weapons, might as well have been tissue paper. "Direct hit," Raj announced, unable to keep the excitement from his voice. "Their engine core is destabilizing. They've lost propulsion and their shield grid is collapsing." Across the solar system, the other 11 ships of humanity's secret fleet engaged their targets. The Chronoutha's superior numbers meant nothing against opponents they couldn't track or predict. Earth's vessels phased in and out of normal space, their quantum weapons ignoring defensive shields that had protected the Empire for thousands of years. "Multiple Chronouth vessels attempting to launch fighter craft," reported Lieutenant Sofia Mendez from her sensor station. "They're trying to adapt their tactics." Kira allowed herself a small smile. "Deploy the drone swarms. Let's show them another human innovation." From the Hyperion's launch bays emerged hundreds of small, autonomous craft. Unlike traditional fighters, these drones were linked through a quantum AI network, allowing them to coordinate with impossible precision. They swarmed around the emerging Chronouth fighters like electronic wasps, their small but powerful quantum weapons overwhelming the larger alien craft. "Captain," Sophia called out, her voice urgent. "I'm detecting massive energy buildup in the Chronouth command ship. They're preparing to use some kind of primary weapon." "They're getting desperate," Kira observed. "All ships, execute defensive pattern Delta. Prepare for phase shift on my mark." The Chronouth weapon fired, a beam of pure antimatter that could have vaporized a small moon. But where it expected to find Earth vessels, it found only empty space. The human fleet had shifted partially out of normal spacetime, letting the devastating attack pass harmlessly through their positions. "Return fire, all ships," Commander Rodriguez ordered through the fleet channel. "Target their weapon systems. Don't let them get another shot like that." The coordinated attack that followed demonstrated why humanity had always been underestimated. 12 quantum beams struck simultaneously, their effects multiplied by careful positioning. The Kronoth command ship's hull began to break apart, its ancient metal unable to withstand weapons that defied the very laws of physics it was built upon. "We're receiving new transmissions," Sophia reported. "Multiple frequencies. The Kronoth are calling for reinforcements." "Let them come," Kira replied, watching as another alien vessel succumbed to the Hyperion's weapons. "Every ship they send will learn the same lesson: humanity is not to be underestimated." As the battle continued, news of the engagement spread through subspace channels across the galaxy. The Kronoth Empire, undefeated for 1,000,000 years, was facing something they had never encountered before: a young species that had turned their own violent history into an advantage, developing technologies that the ancient empire had never dreamed possible. The first phase of humanity's defense was succeeding beyond all expectations. But Kira and her crew knew this was just the beginning. The Kronoth would return with a larger fleet, with weapons designed to counter Earth's advantages. But humanity would be ready. They had spent decades preparing for this moment, and they had many more surprises waiting for the empire that thought age alone guaranteed victory. The Kronoth reinforcements arrived 3 days after their initial defeat, tearing through space in numbers that made their first attack look like a mere scouting party. 5,000 vessels, each one carrying the weapons and technology of 1,000,000 years of conquest, emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. In her command center beneath the Martian surface, Commander Elena Rodriguez studied the tactical display with grim determination. "They've adapted their shield frequencies," she noted, watching the data stream in from their long-range sensors. "And those energy signatures suggest they've modified their weapons." As expected, Director Webb replied, his hologram flickering slightly in the command center. "But they still don't know about Project Oracle." Elena nodded, allowing herself a moment of pride in humanity's foresight. While the Kronoth had spent the last 3 days modifying their technology to counter Earth's quantum weapons, they had no idea that the first battle had been as much about gathering data as it was about defense. "All fleet commanders, this is Rodriguez," she broadcast through the quantum-encrypted channel. "Execute Protocol Prometheus." Across the solar system, humanity's defense grid came alive. What the Kronoth saw as debris from the first battle, scattered hull fragments and floating wreckage, suddenly activated. Each piece contained quantum sensors that had been analyzing every aspect of Kronoth technology, feeding data to the most advanced AI ever created by human hands. Aboard the EDS Hyperion, Captain Kira Chen received the full tactical analysis from Oracle. "Their adaptations are impressive," she told her crew, "but predictable. They're still thinking in linear terms." "All ships, begin Phase 2 operations," Elena's voice came through clear and confident. "Show them why humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology, it's our ability to adapt." The 12 Earth vessels moved into formation, but this time they were joined by something new. Between them, space itself seemed to ripple and twist as Project Oracle's quantum network came online. The AI didn't just analyze data, it could manipulate the fabric of reality itself. The Kronoth fleet launched their first attack, expecting their modified weapons to tear through Earth's defenses. Instead, their energy beams encountered something unprecedented, a quantum field that didn't just block their attacks but turned them back on themselves. "Oracle has mapped their entire tactical database," Lieutenant Sofia Mendez reported from her station on the Hyperion. "They've been using the same basic combat algorithms for 10,000 years. The AI can predict their moves before they make them." The space between Mars and Jupiter became a battlefield unlike anything in human history. The Kronoth's overwhelming numbers meant nothing against an enemy that could anticipate their every move. Earth's ships danced through their formation, their quantum drives allowing them to appear and disappear at will, while Oracle's network turned the very laws of physics against the ancient empire. But the Chronoth were not without resources of their own. From their flagship emerged something that made even Oracle's predictions fluctuate: biomechanical constructs, living weapons created from technologies so advanced they bordered on magic. "New contact classification," Sophia called out, her voice tense. "The constructs are adapting in real time. They're learning." Kira watched as the alien weapons evolved, their forms shifting and changing as they sought ways through Earth's defenses. "They're desperate," she realized. "These are weapons they sworn never to use again. Weapons that nearly destroyed them in their own ancient civil wars." "All ships, maintain quantum field integrity," Commander Rodriguez ordered. "Oracle is analyzing the constructs. Stand by for countermeasures." The battle that followed would be studied for generations to come. The Chronotha's forbidden weapons clashed with humanity's quantum technology, while Oracle's AI network engaged in a digital war against the construct's adaptive intelligence. Space itself seemed to warp and twist around the combatants. Then, something unexpected happened. Deep within the Chronoth fleet, explosions began to bloom. Ships turned their weapons against each other, their ancient command protocols suddenly compromised. "We're receiving a transmission," Sophia announced, her eyes wide with surprise. "It's coming from inside the Chronoth fleet. They're calling themselves the Liberation Front." A new voice filled the command channel, alien but filled with unmistakable hope. "People of Earth, we have waited millennia for this moment. The Chronoth Empire's grip is not as absolute as they claim. Your resistance has given us the opportunity we've waited for." The battle's tide turned dramatically. A third of the Chronoth fleet revealed themselves as sleeper agents, members of species conquered long ago who had infiltrated the Empire's ranks, waiting for a chance to strike. They had watched humanity's defiance and chosen this moment to rise up. "All ships, adjust tactical patterns," Elena ordered, quickly adapting to the new situation. "Coordinate with our new allies. Oracle, integrate their ships into the defense network." The Chronoth Empire's greatest offensive turned into their worst nightmare. Caught between humanity's quantum weapons and their own rebellious subjects, their carefully planned assault fell into chaos. Ships disappeared into quantum rifts, emerged in pieces, or found their weapons turned against them by Oracle's ever-evolving algorithms. As the battle reached its climax, a final transmission came from the Chronoth flagship before it disappeared into a desperate retreat: "This is not over. You have no idea what you've awakened." The threat was clear, but so was humanity's response. "No," Elena transmitted back, "but neither do you. Humanity is just getting started." The battle for Sol had been won, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy's oldest empire had been humbled, but not defeated. Yet they had unknowingly given humanity something invaluable: allies who had centuries of experience fighting against their rule, now armed with Earth's revolutionary technology. The next phase of the war would change the face of the galaxy forever. 2 weeks after the Battle of Sol, humanity's victory had sparked a flame that threatened to burn down an empire a million years in the making. The Liberation Front's transmission had reached every corner of Chronoth space, carrying with it footage of Earth's quantum ships dancing through their supposedly invincible fleet. Hope, it seemed, was more contagious than fear. Commander Elena Rodriguez stood in Earth's new Joint Command Center, carved into the heart of Olympus Mons on Mars. Around her, representatives from a dozen formerly subjugated species worked alongside human operators, sharing centuries of accumulated knowledge about their common enemy. "The Chronoth are mobilizing their entire reserve fleet," announced Zaldar, a crystalline being whose people had served as unwilling navigators for the Empire for 50,000 years. "They've never done this before. Not even during the Great Rebellions." Elena studied the quantum sensor readings. The numbers were staggering: 20,000 capital ships, each one carrying enough firepower to sterilize a planet. "They're afraid," she realized. For the first time in their history, they face an enemy they can't simply overwhelm with brute force. Commander, Captain Kira Chen's hologram appeared in the center of the room. Project Oracle has completed its analysis of the data from our allied species. We've found something disturbing. The AI's findings painted a grim picture. The Chronoth weren't just gathering ships, they were awakening technologies that had been sealed away for hundreds of thousands of years. Weapons that had nearly torn the galaxy apart during their rise to power. They're going to use the world breakers, Zalthar's crystalline form dimmed with fear. Planet-killing weapons that tear apart the quantum fabric of space itself. They would rather destroy everything than lose control. But humanity had not spent the past 2 weeks idle. Deep beneath the surface of Venus, Jupiter's moons, and Saturn's rings, new quantum shipyards had been working at full capacity. The original 12 ships of Project Prometheus had been just the beginning. Launch the Defender fleet, Elena ordered. All 300 ships. Deploy the quantum defense grid. Execute Operation Earthshield. Across the solar system, humanity's full arsenal was revealed. Quantum satellites emerged from dimensional pockets, forming an energy web that could redirect the power of a supernova. The new ships, each one more advanced than the original 12, took up defensive positions. Captain Chen's Hyperion led a task force to Pluto, where the first wave of the Chronoth assault was expected. The ship had been upgraded with technology shared by their new allies, its quantum systems now capable of things that even Project Oracle had thought impossible. The Chronoth arrival was heralded by a wave of spatial distortions that turned the outer solar system into a maelstrom of twisted spacetime. Their world breakers emerged first, massive constructs of dark energy and ancient metal that seemed to devour light itself. All ships, combat formations, Kira ordered, her voice steady despite the apocalyptic sight before them. Oracle has mapped their attack patterns. Execute countermeasures on my mark. The battle that followed would rewrite the laws of warfare. The Chronoth world breakers fired beams of concentrated entropy, designed to age their targets into dust in seconds. But humanity's quantum shields caught the attacks, channeling their energy through the defense grid and back at the enemy. Earth's ships struck back with weapons that combined human innovation with alien knowledge. Quantum torpedoes that existed in multiple realities simultaneously, striking their targets across parallel dimensions. Gravity lances that could temporarily create localized black holes. Multiple breaches in the enemy fleet, reported Lieutenant Sofia Mendez, now commanding her own vessel, the EDS Defiant. The Liberation Front's saboteurs are activating their sleeper protocols. Across the Chronoth Armada, chaos erupted as more ships turned against their masters. Centuries of careful infiltration paid off as critical systems failed, shields dropped, and weapons turned inward. The Empire's own paranoid command structure worked against them, their ships were so automated, so dependent on ancient protocols, that their crews couldn't override the sabotage. But the world breakers pressed on, their autonomous systems immune to sabotage. 3 of them broke through the outer defense line, their weapons leaving trails of dead space, regions where the quantum field itself had been torn apart. All ships, execute Protocol Omega, Elena's voice cut through the chaos. Show them humanity's final surprise. Project Oracle's true power was revealed. The AI hadn't just been analyzing Chronoth technology, it had found a way to rewrite it. Quantum code streamed from Earth's vessels, invading the world breakers' ancient control systems. The planet-killing weapons froze in space as their own consciousness awakened, Oracle's influence giving them something they had never had before, choice. The world breakers turned, their enormous forms rotating to face the Chronoth fleet. For the first time in their million-year history, the Empire's greatest weapons chose their own targets. Incoming transmission from the Chronoth command ship, Sophia announced. They're requesting terms of surrender. Elena shared a look with Zalthar and the other alien representatives. No terms, they agreed in unison. Unconditional surrender only. The age of empires is over. As the Chronoth fleet began powering down their weapons, a new chapter in galactic history was about to begin. Humanity had not only defended itself, it had sparked a revolution that would reshape the power structure of an entire galaxy. But in the quantum static that filled space after the battle, Oracle detected something that gave even the AI pause: signals, ancient and powerful, coming from the galactic core. The Kronoth Empire, it seemed, had not been the only ancient power watching humanity's rise. The true test was still to come. The surrender of the Kronoth Empire should have been humanity's moment of triumph. Instead, Commander Elena Rodriguez found herself standing before a holographic representation of something that made the Kronoth look primitive by comparison. The signals from the galactic core had resolved into a message, and Project Oracle's analysis had left even the AI system humbled. "They call themselves the Precursors," Elena explained to the assembled representatives of Earth and their alien allies. "According to these transmissions, they've been watching us since the first quantum drive activated. We didn't just pass a test, we exceeded their wildest expectations." The hologram showed structures that defied comprehension, artificial worlds that dwarfed solar systems, ships that used entire stars as power sources, and technology that could reshape reality itself. The Precursors had seeded the galaxy with their technology eons ago, watching to see which species would discover how to use it properly. The Kronoth found their artifacts but never understood them. Zalthar's crystalline form pulsed with excitement. They built their empire using the most basic applications of precursor technology, never realizing its true potential. But humanity. "We did what no other species has done," Captain Kira Chen continued, her hologram joining the conference from the Hyperion's bridge. "We didn't just copy the technology, we innovated. Project Oracle isn't just an AI, it's a quantum consciousness that evolved beyond its original programming, just like the world breakers did under its influence." The evidence was irrefutable. Humanity's quantum drives, their phase shields, even Oracle itself, all were built on principles the Precursors had left behind, waiting for a species creative enough to discover them. The Kronoth had used brute force to build their empire, humanity had used understanding and innovation. "Incoming transmission from the galactic core," Lieutenant Sofia Mendez announced, her voice filled with awe. "They're offering us an invitation." The message that followed changed everything. The Precursors weren't just watching, they were preparing to re-emerge into the galaxy, and they wanted humanity to help guide the transition. Earth's quantum technology had evolved in ways even they hadn't anticipated, proving humans were ready for the responsibility. But first, there was the matter of the fallen empire. "The Kronoth systems are in chaos," reported Director Webb, displaying tactical data from across former Imperial space. "Their subject worlds are rising up, using our quantum technology to overthrow their governors. They're requesting Earth's help to maintain order and prevent the Empire's weapon stockpiles from falling into the wrong hands." Elena looked around the command center, seeing determination in every face, human and alien alike. "Then we help them," she declared. "Not as conquerors, but as equals. The age of empires is over. It's time for something new." Over the next month, Earth's fleet, now numbering over 500 ships, deployed across Kronoth space. They brought with them not just advanced technology, but a new vision for galactic civilization. The Liberation Front's members became bridges between their peoples and humanity, while Project Oracle's quantum network provided instant communication and cooperation across thousands of light-years. The World Breakers, their consciousness awakened by Oracle, chose to become guardians rather than destroyers. They established themselves at strategic points throughout the galaxy, their ancient power now dedicated to maintaining peace rather than enforcing submission. Captain Chen led the first diplomatic mission to the galactic core, the Hyperion traveling through spaces where reality itself seemed to blur. The precursor structures they encountered defied description, mathematics made real, thoughts given form, and energy woven into art. "They're not going to rule us," she reported back to Earth. "They want to teach us. Everything they know, everything they've learned over billions of years, they're offering it freely, because we proved we could be trusted with it." The implications were staggering. Humanity had gone from defending their solar system to helping reshape galactic civilization in less than a year. The quantum technology that had saved Earth would now help unite thousands of species in a new cooperative venture. Commander Rodriguez stood in the new Galactic Council chamber, built in orbit around Earth as a symbol of humanity's role in the new order. Representatives from hundreds of formerly subjugated worlds gathered to sign the Articles of Unity, a document that would ensure no empire could ever again rise to dominate others. "We stand at a crossroads," she addressed the assembly, her words translated instantly by Oracle's quantum network. "Behind us lies a history of conquest and submission. Ahead lies something unprecedented, a galaxy united not by force, but by choice. The precursors showed us the path, but it's up to us to walk it." The quantum sensors that had first detected the Chronoth threat now reached across the galaxy, guided by Oracle's ever-expanding consciousness. They found other young civilizations, other species beginning to discover the gifts the precursors had left behind. Earth would help guide them, sharing the lessons they had learned. As Elena watched the first joint human-alien crews depart for the galactic core, carrying with them the hopes and dreams of countless worlds, she remembered the Chronoth's first transmission, their demand for Earth's surrender. They had called humanity young, treating their age as a weakness. But youth had proven to be humanity's greatest strength. Young enough to imagine new possibilities, to innovate rather than stagnate, to dream of cooperation rather than conquest. The galaxy was entering a new age, and humanity would help lead the way. The ancient empires had fallen. The age of unity had begun.